effectively one work week, 1 man week of hours, just to get a rough estimate of the client. Now, it's much better if you do it yourself or ask someone who can help you with it. The whole purpose of it is to, as you can see on this graph here, is to get as far as put in as much effort to get like sufficient accuracy. This is taken from a book called Agile Estimating and Planning written by Kahn. And well, you might have opinions about the fact that you get lower accuracy, by the remote and this is his experience. But the truth is that there is like a threshold where you put a reasonable effort and you get a high degree of accuracy or a sufficient degree of accuracy. So to sum it all up about early estimates, they can be made in a relatively short time. They generate estimates that aren't basic guesswork. You actually look at what you've done in the past, how long that took, and you use that experience. And you let use your experience as a yardstick in a way. So how do we make early estimates? Well, the bottom is, the basic technique is divide and conquer. You break it down, and you look at the small parts. Almost all estimation is done by breaking down requirements. Same as the Romans did, conquering land and everything. So what do you need? Well, first of all, you need a spreadsheet, which I will provide as a template further on. I have actually made an estimation template, which you can all use in Google Docs. You can just use it when you create your projects, and it has formulas and does a lot of stuff for you. And if you're not a Drupal developer yourself, you can rely on a Drupal developer who knows these things. Like Dick, for example, he's the guy who came up with a lot of the ideas behind NodeStream, which I'll be talking about tomorrow. All right. So the method consists of the following steps, the following 7 steps. You begin by time box your estimation work. Like you don't want to sit like a week with this. You want to sit maximum 2 hours. Like the reasonable effort, giving the amount of accuracy you can expect or need, and also given the scope of the project. Like if you have like a big project, it might be worth sitting a day. If it's a smaller project and you just want to come up with a number, the next day you might not want to spend more than an hour. So first of all, decide how much time you want to spend on it. Secondly, you will have to analyze the requirements. The requirements can come in different shapes and forms that we'll see, but the point is to break them down into these chunks or these features. And when you've done that, you make an early guesstimate. You just give a gut feel, like how much does this feel like? And we'll use this later to compare our calculated estimate to our guesstimate, to try and figure out, did I miss something? Is there something, is there an explanation why my guesstimate is so much different from my calculated estimate? And then we extract the features and we write proposed solutions. And this is like the key to the whole process, like writing solutions. And we estimate those features, we take uncertainty into account, and then we compare with the guesstimate to see where we end up. All right. So begin by time boxing your estimation work. So the size of the time box depends on the size of the project and the desirability of the project. And you should use your judgment, but with experience, it shouldn't take more than an hour and a half to do that. So once you've done that, the next step is to analyze the requirements. And I put up some sample requirements here on the web, which you can check out. You can actually, the same text I have here, you can find on our website, the Node1 website. So just point your browser there and you can follow along. So the next step is to make the initial. Right, I should mention something more about the analyze requirements, what it entails. The requirements are your only source at this point regarding what the project is about. So you should read them critically. You should look carefully for potential complications. Wireframes are also useful. They reveal user interaction. They will also sort of map out design requirements. And they will also sort of tell a bit about the client's assumptions. The client will assume that something is easier, something is harder. Drupal does this, doesn't it? So take notes and write down questions of things that need clarifying. Questions you can direct at the client, or which you can pass along your estimate. Like, I wasn't sure about these things, so I assumed. So in this case, well, like I said, we'll be working with the example requirements. Right. So next step is to make an early guesstimate, and your guesstimate should include all activities needed. That is deployment, debugging, asking the client for feedback, Q&A, all these things. And write it down, So sit for a few minutes and think and then write it down. We'll save it for later. So now it's time to actually get started looking at the requirements. Our requirements usually come in the form as text, or they can come as a wireframe, as you will see. And you can find the sample requirements here on the web, on the same page actually. So I mentioned features earlier. So what is a feature? Well, we'll break our requirements down into features. And every feature is a discrete part of the requirements. And every feature will come along with a solution, which you will write. Basically, this is how I could build this in Drupal. And features are estimated, and they have ideal hours. That is how long it would take to build this feature under the best possible circumstances. A feature will then be implemented by the team. The team will make its own estimate as the project is actually begun, but at this point you just want to get a gut feel for how long will the project take, and for the purposes when we mentioned. So, how do we define a feature? A feature is a conceptually and contextually discrete piece of the final deliverables with a proposed solution. What that means, you will see some more concrete examples of that later on as we start analyzing our requirements. So when you read the requirements, you should take notes for your ideas for solutions. You should start by reading the requirements from the beginning to the end and take notes as you read them. You should look for shared solutions. Some requirements will share functionality, like shared navigation, like shared search features and so on. Write these down so you don't double estimate them. And you will quickly find features at this point. Oh, this is a log. Oh, this is like a search feature. This is a tagging. This is tag. They want to tag articles. And at this point, you will also come up with ideas how to solve them. So write those down, so you can just save them for later. Like I said, they are online, so for the reminder, third time's charm. All right, so like I said, I wrote some sample requirements, and they are a bit hypothetical, and they're really vague at some point, which is intentional. Yeah.
That URL,
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Ready? You got the URL?
Hold on.
Okay. So, in this case, we have text here which describes the actual features. And so we start reading the text, and we'll look at these, basically they're just a bunch of sentences, statements. And one which comes out pretty clearly is this sentence. Our site is a link directory where people with awesomely cool sites can post links to their sites. Well, this sounds like a Lullaby podcast, sort of. So that tells us one thing. They want to be able to post links, which means we have a content type. A content type is clearly a feature. I always break down content types. Content types are like the building blocks of your site. Like when you define content types, you will inform the structure of the rest.